You're listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast hosted by Matt Franks and Zach Bechtold. We hope you enjoy this week's show, and you can find out more about us by going online at beardedtheologians.com, where you can pick up a few t-shirts, listen to a few old episodes, and find ways that you can connect with us. Thank you for listening. You're listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast hosted by Matt Franks
and Zach Bechtold.
So this week on the podcast, as it is inching closer to summertime with school ending and all the things as we ramp up towards June, we always talk about summer discipleship, and it's just a great topic to talk about. And so, Zach, as you think and plan for your summer discipleship opportunities, what are some things you'd like to share today?
We summer in Montana and ministry in Montana for the summer has always been jarring for me because we slow way down in the summer, and I know most churches do to an extent. Um, but our regular programming changes because people are everywhere. It's the 3 or 4 months out of the year that it's super pretty, and we can be all over the place and being sandwiched in between a couple of national parks. We do that. And so we take the opportunity to do discipleship, some of the same, keep some consistent groups and small groups and things like that going throughout the summer. But we take the opportunity to lean into that a little differently with hiking groups and backyard barbecues and meeting people where they are outside. And it's a fun way to approach ministry and a fun way to settle into the routines of summer and having smaller groups. We're going to get to do some outdoor worship on Sundays. And some festivities like that as we get into the summer as well. So we try to embrace the outdoor culture and just the pretty weather rather than fighting it. We talked a little bit on last week's podcast about fighting culture and the things that people are doing rather than embracing it, and that we could whine and cry about people camping and being gone and doing the things and spending time with their families, but why not embrace it and meet people where they are in that way? So we try to do a lot of that. And it helps us get out of our box, right? And things that we always do. So it's a refreshing time and pace in the summer, and helps us hit the ground running in the fall. What about you, Matt?
I actually, before we got on, I had been down at our outdoor chapel. We've got some guys working on the boards for the outdoor chapel as we kick that off this week. And we kind of are in the same boat. We kind of slow some things down. We kind of try to do some fun, different things. Like I'm hoping that we can do one of our game nights. I'm hoping we can even do some brunch church activity stuff. We have some special things happening in the summer, and I look forward to it. I think it's one of the things and I remember hearing this when I went to Leadership Institute many years ago about the rhythms of your community
Mhm.
and understanding those rhythms, and that no, you don't have to full throttle all the time, but knowing that, summer times will just be, you just provide different opportunities for spiritual growth and discipleship in those spaces. Whereas the school season is pretty rhythmic, and there's ebbs and flows in the school season. Um, but going and just being aware of those rhythms and living into those rhythms more so than trying to change the rhythm, or change, do things that are just difficult to do because you don't necessarily have the people. Like, we know we're doing a cleanup on Sunday. We know that the weather may be bad because it's May in Colorado, which can always be a little bit nutty and cold or wet or whatever. Like, and so we just have to roll with it. We know that it's Memorial Day weekend. We know that a lot of people are going to be gone, but we're still going to do some cleanup stuff around the church because it's not a bad thing. And people love kind of doing that. Like when you have those opportunities to do that, and we'll have brunch. And so like, it's a good chance for us to sit around a table, have a meal, get to, that space. And so like, I look forward to that. We have our mission trip. I this year is going to be just a cool one because we're going back to Oklahoma to work at Cooks and Hills Ministry Center, and I'm excited about that. Um, and it's just one of those things and seasons that, um, if we embrace it, we can do some fun things that we can't do during the school year. And I think that that's the challenge for churches is to what, but then to do what can we do to have just a good time of growing in our life and our faith and what opportunities are available.
Mhm. Well, it's a the summer rhythm and flow, right? Is a different time or another opportunity to do things differently. You're going to have different people show up that may or may not show up during the school year, right? And so it's a great opportunity in often much smaller groups or just in different small groups for people to get to know each other, to share their stories and their faith in that way that maybe they don't have the opportunity to during the school year or that rhythm of the year. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of what opportunities do you have to get people together? Kids and camping, right? Like going mission trips and going to our church camps and things like that are huge ways to build those relationships. And even carpooling with parents and whatnot is a good opportunity to do those faith building things.
Yeah, and we're actually like, so if we really want to say like when we're kicking off summer, like we definitely are kicking it off on Sunday with our outdoor chapel. But we have our first so we have this program that I started when I got here, probably in my first year. We call it the VIPP, very important point person. And what the VIPP does is they literally plan an event. And my job is to help them promote the event and then help guide them through what, like we would any other ministry,
Mhm.
but they're not committing to something. They're committing to just planning that event. If it's something they want to continually do, they'll come back with it the next year. But it's not something we're just like saying, all right, you're gonna plan this trip, this hiking trip, and you'll do it forever. Because that's what we sometimes do in ministry. The
Mhm.
VIPP is really designed for a one-off event that is something that if people want to come back to it again the next year, they can do it. If not, that's great too. Like that's fine. We did it one time. It was fun.
Mhm.
And so that program has really kicked off in a way that has really started to gain some momentum in a way that we were hoping it would have out of the gate. It just took a little bit and a couple events for us to do that. And so I'm excited about we have one on Tuesday where we're going to go hiking and I'm looking forward to that. Although I did tell Asha, I was like, I may just take a book and enjoy life and
Mhm.
let them do the hiking because I've got to get ready for the mission trip, those sort of things. I don't know. I know I'm driving the bus, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. And so I
Mhm.
think that that's when we talk about that kind of stuff, it is a great opportunity. I love how you mentioned your hiking church. I know, like when you were in Shoto,
Mhm.
you would do the farmers market communion thing. I thought that was always kind of cool. That stuff that does lead for opportunities. Like we close out our dinner groups with or our meal groups with a big potluck together to close that out, and that will be kind of fun. And all those things are important and I think they're great. The way that more you can bring people to the table, the more you can do that stuff, the more you can help your church connect with each other and grow together.
Mhm. Well, and that's what it's all about, right? When we talk about discipleship and connecting in our faith and growing in our faith, it's about that. It's about that community and getting together and finding ways to get together in new ways or different ways or ways that are unexpected, right? Summer's a great time to play around with all kinds of things and opportunities, and for the short term, right? Like these don't have to be things that are perpetual. Do it once and see what happens, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, great. Figure out how to do something else, right? Like it's just a great opportunity to try, to fail, to succeed, to do everything in between.
Well, and I know you knew this as a youth director. It was a great opportunity for you to experiment with something that you couldn't do
Hmm.
throughout the school year just because either availability of people or there is a sense of flexibility in the summer that you don't have during the school year. Um, and so it's always a good way to try out new things. Like I've got a couple ideas in the burner that I'm thinking about that I'll discern this weekend, whether or not I'll pull the trigger on that to do some cool things to provide some opportunities for people to grow. I also, it's one of those things too. Also a good way to close out ministries as you enter into the
Hmm.
season to say, hey, like we're celebrating the end of this. Like I said, with our meal groups, we'll celebrate the end of that. But also the just for our people to know that you don't have to do the whole. I think sometimes the church forces people to overcommit in a way that is
Mhm.
more harmful than good. But to be able to say no, like rest, like we should really emphasize rest in a way that is healthy and that it will, like when we rest, we can grow, and I think
Mhm.
that that's important too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, where did you see God at work this week?
Ooh. We had graduation and music appreciation Sunday this last week, and it was a fantastic service. There was no preaching. It was just music and celebrating our seniors graduating high school and hearing their stories, what their hopes and dreams are, moving into whatever their next steps are, and a lot of different variety and places and opportunities there. And it was really, really, really cool uh, just to watch our church people celebrate our young kids to just sing and be present in that moment on a Sunday that was really, really different. It wasn't our normal rhythm and flow and style of church, and it was really cool to see people lean into that well. To appreciate all of the styles of music and one another and the people who just bring the good news of God's love and grace in a variety of ways, which is always really important for leading worship and recognizing that. And it was a great day of celebration all the way around, and heard from countless people how much they appreciated just to get to see, but to hear from our young people in a really significant way. So that was a lot of fun. What about you?
I also know that you probably got a little teary eyed and saw God when you realized that it was your daughter after all these years of all these senior
It's
Sundays. I'm sure that hits differently than
it
and
does.
I say that because on Sunday one of our liturgists on Sunday talked about how this is our senior Sunday and that one day she'll see her grandchildren
Hmm.
in their deal, and like that, and it was in the second service and it hit me. I was like,
Hmm.
next year. And then
Yeah,
like I get emotional because that's just kind of how things hit me. And I just like yeah.
yeah.
So
Lots of waves of emotion for that one.
yes.
It was tough. Good, but
Yeah.
tough.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you got to go to it first and not me. For me, um, I have been working on this idea of a discipleship pathway for our church for a while now. And um, I came up, we're using the acronym of GROW, and it's gather, reflect, offer, and walk. And as we were talking about, as I was rolling this out in our grow team meeting, I don't know, it just felt so right. Like, you know, when you're saying something or you're doing something, it just feels so good. And like you feel the excitement about it. That's how that felt. And it's like, wow, this is so good. I'm excited about this. And I'm really, really geeked out about what this is going to mean for our congregation as we start to roll this out. As we run on a program year, so our program year begins July 1. So I've got a whole other month now to really get this, kind of laid out before we roll it out. Um, I'm really excited about it, and some of the opportunities that are going to come out of this and grow from this idea of discipleship, and it will help people that are looking for what's next. Like, and I don't know, it just felt like that was just such a great spiritual moment that was just, oh wow, it was just so cool. And so
Hmm.
it was just a good time. And we had our senior Sunday too, and it's just really cool because I've been here long enough now that I know some of these kids, or have seen them, uh, and so that's just been kind of cool to see that as well. It's just, I don't know, it's just been pretty good. So yeah,
Good.
and then we closed out our disciples table this week, which was kind of hard. Like it was kind of sad, but it was also, we've enjoyed that as well, and like it's just been good. So I really appreciate, yeah, like that space.
That's
So
good. I love
uh,
it.
we want to thank our listeners for listening. You can go on our website at beardedtheologians.com and listen to all of our past podcasts and all of our shows. And don't forget to pick up some items. It's Father's Day is coming up. Get something for dear old dad or grandpa or that important male in your life. Bearded Theologian stuff makes good gifts for graduations too. So don't be afraid to get that as well. So thank you for listening. And so for the Bearded Theologians, I'm Matt Franks.
I'm Zach Bechtold. Thanks for checking us out.
Guys, and like this video and push that thumbs up.
Thank you for listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on all social media outlets. You can check out old episodes and more information at beardedtheologians.com. Thanks for checking us out.